The lion pointed his gold claw and sent her flying way up the flagpole. Camelot's flag magically came loose and tied around her waist, lashing her to the pole and out of the snake's reach. Get me done! Agatha yelled. The lion winked at her and stomped back into battle. The snake rushed at him head first, smashing the lion against the pole before the lion delivered a vicious kick to his fin, scattering a few screams and revealing more of the snake's milk-white flesh. The two masked men lunged at each other, firing spells and screams, shattering two more frozen walls, the remainder of the stage collapsing under their every step, until they were on the final piece of the gallows, a small square of scorched wood. With their bodies jammed together, they could no longer rely on magic, and the two sat on each other with their fists, trying to knock the other off the platform and into the fiery pits below. As the lion clocked the snake, a scream crawled out of a hole and snagged the lion by the ankle, yanking him towards the edge of the stage. The lion whispered and stomped on the screen, crushing it. But now the snake came from behind, hands out, about to push the lion off the stage and face first into the blaze below. Sophie screamed. The lion reared just in time, belting the snake with all of his might, who staggered backwards and plummeted off the stage, landing in the fire and dispersing to 1,000 shrieking screams. Rounded, the screams glowed green and rose shakily into the air, forming a massive phantom cobra in the sky. It hissed at the lion with the promise of a vengeance before spraying into the night, terrible shrieks echoing. Covered in blood and bruises, the lion stood on what was left of the stage, gold mask glistening in the moonlight, his chest heaving. Slowly, he raised his head to the boy pirates crouching prisoners in the field. The lion roared. Pirates dropped their weapons and ran. Students and citizens let out a vicious cry, the 4 points reclaimed it, and the snake beaten back. "Long live King Tedros!" someone shouted. "Long live the king!" said another. As Nicola climbed the flagpole to bring Agatha down, Hot and Dot kneeled to comfort Rena and Beatrix, who were sobbing over their lost best friend. Hester and the witches hurried to the sides of the other Evers and Nevers, many of who had been wounded in their battle against the pirates. Indeed, the questers were so quick to help each other that none of them noticed that inside the billows of smoke coming off the stage, Sophie was still trapped on the lone wall standing. but the lion had. He strode over the misty crumbles of stage until at last he reached her, his jacket ripped open and sweat soaking his light blue shirt. He burned her screams away and scratched him under his boots, leaving a puddle of black goo. Then he looked at Sophie through his mask. "Thank you," he said. "If you hadn't screamed to warn me, I'll be dead." "Can't have you dying yet, Teddy," Sophie sighed, rubbing at her sore wrists. "I'm your wedding planner." "Are you?" he said. His eyes reflected mischief like a hall of mirrors. Something flooded inside Sophie, something hot and stormy in the deepest swells of her heart. It was something she had never felt with a prince. Slowly, she reached up and pulled the mask off the lion's face. Sophie staggered back. It wasn't Tedros. The boy had tender skin, the color of amber, and copper brown hair cropped close to his head like a soldier's helmet. He had a strong broad bone, a long, straight nose, sensual lips, and thick dark brows that ran flat over his eyes like two streaks of paint. Beads of sweat dotted his coat of brown stubble, and his eyes seemed to change colors with the intensity of his stare, from blue to hazel and all the shades in between. He looked at her age, perhaps a bit older. One thing was for sure, though. She had never seen such a beautiful boy in her life, masculine, sultry, and smelling of salt and sand, as if he had been lured from the mouth of a desert fire. "Who are you?" she choked. "A humble servant of Camelot," he said, calm and commanding. "Come to protect the king and his princess." Sophie shook her head. But... "I suppose this isn't the whole truth," said the boy. "My loyalty is to Camelot, and I will fight until my dying breath to make sure the rightful king weds his rightful queen. But I've also come to find someone else along the way. Someone I saw in a storybook and haven't been able to stop thinking about since. Someone who, in my quest to protect Camelot, perhaps I can protect too."